Hey! Hey everyone, I'm finally back with another video. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these things, but I figured since in recent memory we've had a faint glimpse of what's going to come out in the upcoming EDH, or I should say Commander set that's coming out this year with, oh god, what the hell is that thing? So since we do have a bit of a glimpse of what's to come in the Summer Commander expansion, and I did a video a little while back about the cards to unban in Commander, I figured today I'd do the exact opposite. Of cards that need to be banned in Commander, or at least I feel that need to be banned in Commander. Now, considering Commander offers just about every card ever printed, including like wacky promotional cards like, what's it called, Mana Vault, I feel like, let's just face it, there's a lot of cards that, well, are very, very, very degenerate and likely could be banned, or could be banned in a sense, to the point that I guess you could say I don't even know about them, considering there are so many potential possibilities that could be an EDH. And yeah, it's likely I will miss some cards on this list, or this list could probably be a lot bigger. But in all honesty, I'm just going to go through the 5 that I, as a player, have experienced, and I guess you could say just can't frankly stand. Anyway, so without further ado, enough chit-chat about other things. Let's get into the now and talk about the 5 cards that I believe should be banned in Commander. Starting with card number 1, which is a card I myself have been guilty of playing in some of my EDH decks before. I know I have shown at least one tech on my channel that has this card in it, but the thing is, I do not use this card as a general. Frankly, I think this card is a massive pain in the butt. Yes, that's right, it's a real pain in the butt, especially if you get into play, and especially if anyone or everybody is just playing one particular color. By this clue, you've probably guessed that this card is Iona's Shield of Emeria. And although there are several answers to Iona, let's just face it, nobody wants to play against this thing. It's just a massive effing headache, and let's just face it, if you're just playing one color, you're basically going to lock someone out of the game until hopefully one of your other players at the table will be generous enough to get rid of it with a spell of a different color. The thing that really bugs people a lot about this card is it's just your opponents, it's not you. Maybe it would be a little more fair if you, the player playing the card, let's just face it, didn't get to cast spells of that color, but no, it's just your opponents. It's just plain flippin' ridiculous. Like I say, this is not the most busted or, I could say, out of control card in the format, but still, it's not fun, and that's why it gets a spot on this list. It's wow, just wow. I thought there were some really bad legends, but just wow. Anyway, up next is a card that I'm completely guilty of playing as well. Other people have in my play groups in the past and currently have also played this card before. As much as I love this card, I guess you could say I'm in a love-hate relationship with this card. I love what it does, but it just makes everyone so unhappy every time it's on the table. It's so abusable. It's so disgustingly good. It's just... it's Palinchron. Yes, Palinchron, while it looks kind of, I guess you could say, underpowered for the mana you put into it, it's not. It really is not. You're going to get 7 new lands, which I guess you could say an EDH will provide at least 7 mana. It could be more depending on what lands you have. But really, this is just nuts. Palinchron is just one ridiculous monster, just gets you so much value, and given the fact that there are so many cloning effects in Commander, you can clone it again and again. Like, the mana you get from the first one will provide the mana you need from the clone, and then the clone will untap your lands in turn again. What's worse, if you can somehow get Palinchron to cost less, you're going to be netting a mana every time you cast it. So if you say, like, get it to cost 2 less and have some way to chain together, like, some sort of unsummon effect, yeah, you're going to be netting a lot of mana, and that's an infinite combo right there, if you can manage to pull that off. Personally, I played Palinchron for many years, even before EDH was a format, and yes, I know how good this card is. And let's just face it, even if you don't have that unsummon effect I talked about earlier, hey, what do you know, it comes with one. Ugh, sheesh. Seriously, this creature has been known to cause nothing but, I guess you could say, headaches, and just people would just want to flip a table. Let's just get it out of this format. And then he was hit by a lightning bolt, and he never came back to YouTube again. The end. Sorry about that. Anyway, number 3 on this list is a card I've also been very guilty of playing. And let's just face it, playing this card means you're a total jerk, no matter what format you're playing in. Seriously, I cannot think of one reason, not one reason at all, why this card has not been banned yet. I mean, it's banned in just about everything else in Magic the Gathering's history, or I guess you could say in every other format ever made, and frankly, it was even banned before it was even released to the public. The card I'm speaking of course, is the infamous Mind's Desire. And no, you did not hear me incorrectly. I have actually played this card before in Commander, and let's just face it, everyone on the table will hate your guts. Considering in formats like Legacy and Vintage, it's really, really easy to chain together spells. And let's just face it, Commander is no different. Mind's Desire will basically just give you infinite value if you cast a lot of flippin' spells. And let's just face it, considering you can get well, let's think about it. A Palinchron, for example. Yeah, this just... Why is this here? Why is this here? It's just... it just doesn't make any sense to me. Seriously though, this card needs to be banned. I have no other words. Next on this list is a card a lot of people will probably disagree with that needs to be banned, and frankly, I can see some matchups where this card is not that big of a problem. However, in a format with lots of giant cards and giant spells that rarely see play outside of Commander, this thing can be a real pain in the ass. Although he likely will never stop you from playing your general, Gaddock Teague is, well, another card I'm not really too fond of. Frankly, just because anything 4 greater that isn't a creature is, well, not going to be played, and let's just face it, that's a lot of flippin' cards. What's even worse is you can make this guy your general. I mean, because for 2 mana, you basically turn off all the fun that happens in this format. Or at least a lot of it. Or I guess you could say at least the fun that does not involve creatures. This means that even your planeswalkers will never see the light of day as long as Gaddock Teague is on the board. Bright good news is that he's not that hard to get rid of. Like Iona, there are lots of answers to him. But frankly, from my experience, I do run a lot of decks that do run a lot of very heavy spells, and Gaddock Teague in play or as a general, yeah, that's not too fun. The last card on this list is probably my least favorite card ever in this format. And you might just be thinking I'm putting it on here just because I hate it so much and I'm salty that I lose to it all the time. And yeah, that is not the reason I put it on here. This card is just busted as balls, and yeah, every time I see it, yeah, everyone just hates the player playing it, and surprisingly they usually win in a very timely fashion. It doesn't matter how many players people are playing against, and it usually doesn't matter what people are playing against this card. This card is a pain in the butt to get off the board. It's not very fun and makes, I guess you could say, playing this format a real effing pain. This card is Animar, Soul of the Elements. In addition to having protection from white and from black, 2 of the most heavy removal colors in the game, this thing not only gets bigger over time and becomes a really big threat, but it makes everything a lot easier for you to cast, or at least your creatures for that matter. But considering creatures can provide lots of value, yes, I'm looking at you, Palinchron, things will just get out of hand so fast. And like I said before, most of these decks that do run this also run Palinchron, simply because he will make your Palinchron cost 2 mana, and then you'll be able to basically net value mana with Palinchron without having to do anything else. But aside from Palinchron, there's a lot of really degenerate things this guy can do. If you run something that draws you a card every time you play a creature or cast a creature spell, this will just get you a lot of value. It'll give you a lot more cards, and believe it or not, there are several other combos that can be performed with Animar. It's just really, really nasty. I've seen several Animar decks that are basically just run them to run at least 4 potential combos, and let's just face it, when you're going to that far extremities or to that extreme level or measure of a combo deck, it turns a fun format into, let's just face it, the feeling you get when you step on a nail. But wait, that's not all I have to say about Animar. The thing that really breaks this boat and tears it in half is the fact that Animar just costs 3 mana. For 3 mana, you get this incredibly formidable creature that is really hard to kill and makes all your other creatures cost a buttload less. Not to mention, you can just pump it up with things like increasing savagery and just make it stupidly powerful the turn after you play it. There's just so much you can do with this busted creature. And yes, I do think this should be banned from both the general slot and in a main deck slot. I just don't want to see this anywhere in this format. It's not a fun card. People give generals like Riku of Two Reflections and Maelstrom Wanderer crap, but the reality of it is that this is the most powerful general in those colors. Good God, what a nightmare. And that was my list of cards that I think should be banned in Commander. There are probably others that I missed, and if you have other suggestions or other cards that I did miss, please let me know about them in the comment section below. If this is your first time checking out my channel, feel free to like and subscribe, as it helps get all of my videos out there, and everyone deserves to have the knowledge of Magic the Gathering, so feel free to explore my channel as you wish. My name is Ryu Spectre. Thank you again for watching my video. I hope you have a fun time gaming, and I will see you all next time.